This episode of the Dungeoncast has been brought to you by Hero Forge. Hero Forge has fully customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy races and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-use design tool lets you build the perfect miniature online using a fully 3D in-depth character creator right in your web browser. There are plastic and metal options for your custom mini. And Hero Forge even offers downloadable model files for users to 3D print their unique designs at home. Plus, they're constantly expanding the catalog of customization options. They're adding new parts every week and major features like races and custom posing on a regular basis. All you have to do is go to heroforge.com and you can start designing your custom mini today. It's super easy. And don't forget to check back and visit them every now and again because they're always adding new content. One more time, that's heroforge.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from expert elves to epic eclipses. And today we're talking about the Elder Elementals again.
The Dungeoncast.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Will.
We're back at it again. We got two more Elder Elementals on the list. And these ones have a bit more lore than the last two that we talked about.
Okay.
For us, 10 minutes ago. For them, last week.
Yeah. True. Yeah, they were pretty much lightweights on the lore side.
Oh, yeah. By lightweights, I mean one of them had a single paragraph ever written about it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's more like the dude that summoned it is where all the lore lies or whatever, like in the story of this creature.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's just a big weather monster.
I love it.
It doesn't have a story, but these ones kind of do.
Okay.
So today we're covering the Phoenix and the Zaratan, or Zaratan. The Elder Elementals of Fire and Earth, respectively. Unlike the Leviathan and Elder Tempest, though, which were, for the most part, created specifically to fill in the role of the Elder Elementals of Water and Air, the Phoenix and the Zaratan are monsters that have existed in previous editions, but have now been retconned into the positions of Elder Elementals.
Okay.
So for both creatures, we'll be covering their pre-5e, more biological counterparts, as well as the new, less organic 5e versions. So let's get into it, starting with the Phoenix.
Okay.
So a Phoenix is a powerful elemental bird that embodies the wild and unpredictable nature of fire, which, depending on your edition, is either an extraplanar or even heavenly, but still literal bird with inherent magical and mystical properties, or its fire itself gains sentience on the elemental plane of fire.
That looks like a bird. So these are all like kind of tied to an animal in some way.
I guess so.
Like their physiology, like the way they look, because
I guess so. Yeah, because the other ones look like giant
they're
serpents.
both like snakes. This one's a big bird.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, fire is an integral part of the Phoenix, as is the concept of death and rebirth. Mm-hmm. As such, the Phoenix is sometimes seen as a being of purification and resurrection, while at other times viewed as an agent of destruction and chaos. D&D's Phoenixes are based off the in-real-life mythological creatures of the same name.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
So the Phoenix, from what we can tell, this is real life mythology. The Phoenix, from what we can tell, originates from ancient Greek folklore, though there is some small evidence that it may have originated in ancient Egypt. What evidence there is dubious at best. Unlike a lot of the other mythological creatures we've talked about on the show, the Phoenix doesn't really have a specific story or legend tied to it. The Lernaean Hydra is recorded in the tale of Heracles, and the Sphinx is remembered for its role in Oedipus' story, for example. The Phoenix, though, instead, was presented by many ancient philosophers, historians, and great minds as an actual living creature that existed in the world, and was often expanded upon in ancient bestiary-type writings.
Wouldn't that be fucking chill as fuck if they're finding a lot of fossils lately with like, oh, the thing that this dinosaur ate is preserved inside its fossil stomach or whatever, and they can like see that shit.
That's wicked cool.
Wouldn't that be cool if they just found a fucking phoenix bones out there?
Yes,
you don't
course.
Though, because they blow up into ash or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Remember. And speaking on the lore, like how you forgot about Chamber of Secrets, bro.
I'm talking about ancient mythology, bro.
I do jokes.
I know. I know you do.
All right, go ahead.
So the Phoenix was said to be a long-lived bird that cyclically regenerates or is otherwise born again and again. It was associated with the sun and said to obtain new life by rising from the ashes of its predecessor. Some legends say they would die in a show of flames and combustion. Others that it simply died and decomposed before being born again. Phoenixes were believed to live roughly 500 years per cycle. The bird has been used as a holy symbol representing rebirth, light, and purification from the times of ancient Rome to the Christendom of medieval Europe.
I live in a place where fireworks are illegal, but I would love to buy a firework called Death of the Phoenix. That would be so fucking
super
cool.
Wicked cool.
Wouldn't it be lame though if like one like you got one that was like a defaulted or whatever, it had a problem and just like kind of just like
fizzled
into
out.
smoke.
That would suck. Yeah. So previous to 5e, D&D phoenixes are described as enormous eagle-like birds of 40-foot wingspan with brightly colored feathers ranging from orange to red and violet, and with blue-violet beaks and claws. Their eyes are a glowing ruby color. Their bodies glow naturally bright and shed their own light.
Cool.
All these types of phoenixes are said to be male. They have extremely long lifespans, estimated to be about between 1,000 to 12,000 years. And the reproduction process consists entirely of self-immolation and rebirth.
1,000 to 12,000 years?
Yeah.
Like that big of a, because I was going to say if it's 1,000 to 1,200, it's not very.
No, but it's 1,000 to 12,000, which is a very
so you
wide
can get
range.
a lot of cycles out of it.
Oh, well, no,
Yeah,
that's
for
every
500
cycle.
years.
No.
Oh, this is different.
Oh, yeah. 500 years was what like ancient mythological historians would say phoenixes live.
This is the new.
This is
written
D&D.
shit. Okay,
D&D,
I got mixed up.
Every cycle is anywhere from 1,000 to 12,000 years.
Okay, so these are much longer lived.
Mm-hmm,
So these are like
so.
infinite. That's going to happen for eternity, pretty much?
Theoretically, it's
Okay.
always reborn. So this version of the phoenix was said to dwell in Elysium, which is the outer plane attuned entirely to neutral good.
Okay.
Phoenixes are strange and enigmatic creatures. They are held in very high regard in the legends of many tribes of barbarians and other primitive cultures. It is said that the phoenix is the embodiment of rebirth. This is symbolized in the classic imagery of the self-immolation of the phoenix from which a new bird is formed. This is seen as the ultimate sacrifice for the cause of good, and thus the phoenix are considered to be noble creatures.
Okay.
In general, phoenixes are reclusive creatures, tending to make their lairs away from the worlds of humanoid beings, though they have the ability to travel through the astral and ethereal planes and thus to any of the inner and outer planes. They generally tend to stay on Elysium or in secluded places on the prime material plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secluded places. Would a cloud giant like have a pet phoenix?
No fucking way. And
That's
if it
too
did,
crazy, right?
If it did, the phoenix would be deeply upset.
Oh.
Yeah.
It would fuck it up. Because the cloud giant and the phoenix probably wouldn't get along.
I mean, probably not. Not if it has a captive, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I could see a cloud giant wanting that because the phoenix is super elegant. And
Exactly.
crazy
That's
looking.
why I was thinking like that would
So
a prize.
like an evil cloud giant would go for it. A good cloud giant would not.
Okay.
Although a wealth of mystery surrounds the phoenix, there are some things that are known for sure. So it is obvious that the phoenix is a champion of good, although it seems these creatures do not actively seek out evil to destroy. They will rarely pass up on such an opportunity when it presents itself.
Okay.
So if they see evil, they'll do something about it.
Nice.
Remember, this is before 5th edition. So this is not the same as the elemental monstrosities that we're talking about.
No,
later.
no, this is like we're talking about Phoenix in general. pretty
Yeah,
much.
this is like before 5e, this is what phoenixes were.
Okay.
Where was I? Also, despite the vast differences in ideologies, beliefs, and philosophies and cultures that revere the phoenix, one thing remains constant. The phoenix is a symbol of creation by destruction. Some cultures believe that fire is the one great purifier, cleansing all that it touches. Others believe that the fires merely destroy. With the phoenix, both are true. In its own reproduction, fires destroy the old bird, taking with it many centuries of life and wisdom, yet it creates a new phoenix with a new mind that's thus purifying the line.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Doctor Who in it a little bit. Oh, I guess Doctor Who like carries over data.
Yeah, he's the same person, right?
Kinda. Like the personality
I don't know.
gets wiped. I don't know.
It's weird.
I watched.
I don't
not
watch
the
Doctor
biggest Doctor Who fan.
I've never watched it.
Just
But,
remind reincarnate. He reincarnates like a fucking bird. Okay.
Gotcha. When it is time for the phoenix to die, it goes far into the mountains away from civilization. At the very top of these peaks, the phoenix builds a great nest made of straw and various herbs. The phoenix will lie in the nest, taking its last look at the world it knows, satisfied that its work in the world is at an end.
God damn! What the fuck?
It then immolates itself in a flash of great flame and light. When the flames die down, there in the nest remains untouched by flames, a young phoenix arrayed in bright colors like its parent before it.
That's poetic. That is like the David Tennant Doctor Who was like, I don't want to die. And then he did. Oh, sorry. Spoilers for David Tennant Doctor Who. Sorry, guys. Spoilers for Doctor Who, but all the actors that you saw were Doctor Who's that died.
Right. So Of all magical or enchanted creatures, the phoenix is perhaps most sought after by alchemists and sages alike. There's almost no part of the phoenix that cannot be used in a magical potion or for research. The feathers of phoenix have a great many uses. They can be used to adorn a staff of healing. They can be used to make potions of greater healing and have many other curative magic uses, including Final Fantasy, where they use Phoenix Down to bring people to life.
I was going to say it, but you wrote it in your notes.
No, I didn't. I just said it.
Oh, good. Good. It needed to be said.
Yeah. So they can, the eyes, beak, and talons of Phoenix are very valuable in the open market, often commanding 5,000 gold pieces and up.
Wait a minute. The eyes and beak. So somebody killed the bird because if it reincarnates, didn't leave a body behind.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Daniel. Mm-hmm. Don't kill birds.
Even with their high value, though, it is not always easy to find a buyer on the open market because many cultures consider it a terribly bad omen or taboo violation to kill a phoenix.
Yeah, because that sounds bad. I wouldn't do that because it sounds really bad.
Very bad.
Like killing unicorns.
It's like killing a unicorn, yes. Last fun fact about this version of the phoenix is their undying hatred of the undead.
Okay.
Phoenixes will fly into a furious frenzy upon detecting undead in their presence and attack with the full force of their fury.
Zombies!
No one else is allowed to be immortal but me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You got to do it a specific way. You can be like
and you have to kill
immortal.
yourself to be immortal.
Yeah, you can't do necromancy unless you do it on yourself.
Yeah.
Is it necromancy?
No, it's not. No, it's super. And also, it's not. It's not even really rebirth. It's like they're birthing a different entity.
Yeah,
it's much like the way, spoilers for Steven Universe, Steven's mom has to give up her life in order for him to exist.
Oh, damn, that sucks.
Yes, and that's much how a phoenix has to procreate.
Okay, so it's like it's not like it's reincarnating all of its like energies, I guess, and not its soul. I guess. Well, it's soul? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. It's not really stated. It's really up to you.
Huh.
So around 4th edition, the Phoenix made the transition from a bird with fire powers to a bird made of literal fire. The 4E Monster Manual presents the Phoenix as a huge elemental beast without any alignment to good or evil, a mighty personification of fiery destruction, but still not quite the elder elemental of 5E.
So here's all this really cool, like, dates back to ancient times Phoenix lore. Just gonna scrub that all out.
Just gonna throw that away.
We're gonna 5E it, which is like what 4E did to a lot of its stuff, it seems. Yeah. They're just gonna 5E, throw some 4E scramble on this Phoenix.
Right.
Okay.
So a quick recap, an elder elemental is essentially what happens when an elemental eats all the other elementals around it for over a long period of time until it grows into a gargantuan primal terror that epitomizes their specific element.
Right.
The Phoenix is the fire version of that.
Yes.
Releasing a Phoenix from the inner planes creates an explosion of fire that spreads across the sky. An enormous fiery bird forms in the center of the flames and smoke, an elder elemental possessed by a need to burn everything to ash.
I bet I'm gonna read about that attack.
Yep. The Phoenix rarely stays in one place for long as it strives to transform the world around it into an inferno.
It can't stay in one place for very long because its prerogative is to burn shit.
Exactly.
And if it stays in one place, it burned all the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
That's exactly right. Stat block time.
I got you, Phoenix.
So this is the Inferno elemental weather monster.
You're the big fire guy. Yeah. Gargantuan elemental neutral. The armor class is 18. Mm-hmm. Hit points 175. So we're scaling back from the Thunder one. Yeah,
this is going to be the weakest of the Elder Elementals.
It can move 20 feet, but it can fly 120 feet. Strength 19, Dex 26, Con 25, Intelligence 2, Wisdom 21, and Charisma 18. They all have 18 Charisma? I think they all have 18 Charisma. Saving throw, Wisdom plus 10, Charisma plus 9. I think those are the same too. Damage resistances, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks. Pretty standard at the high level stuff. Damage immunities, fire and
poison.
Yeah. Condition immunities, exhaustion, grapple, paralyze, petrify, poisoned, prone, restrained, and stunned. Can't do any of that to fire.
Nope.
So you ever try to restrain fire, Will?
Nope.
Damn, me neither. Senses, dark vision, 60 feet. Passive perception is 15. Languages, no languages, or dashes. That's another joke. 16 challenge rating. So that's much lower than the others.
Much lower.
Fiery death and rebirth. When the Phoenix dies, it explodes. There you go.
Yeah.
End of the episode. Each creature within 60 feet of it must make a DC 20 dexterity saving throw, taking 22 or 4d10 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a success.
Still pretty powerful.
The fire ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't worn or carried. damn, that's probably looking shitty. You see an explosion, it hurts. You look around, everything's on fire like that Nick Cage movie.
Right.
The explosion destroys the Phoenix's body and leaves behind an egg-shaped cinder that weighs 5 pounds. The cinder is blazing hot. It deals 21 or 66 fire damage to any creature that touches it. Though no more than once per round, the cinder is immune to all damage, and after 1d6 days, it hatches a new Phoenix. Immune to all damage? Like, they're just like, this shit is happening, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely nothing you can do about it.
All right. So you roll a d6, and fuck. So fire form, the Phoenix can move through a space, when it's not blowing itself up, that is. The Phoenix can move through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide without squeezing. Any creature that touches the Phoenix or hits it with a melee attack within 5 feet of it takes 5 or 1d10 fire damage. That's like a normal fire elemental, huh? You take damage when you're in proximity to it.
Yeah.
So in addition, the Phoenix can enter a hostile creature space and stop there. Damn.
Yeah,
the first,
just like the other two.
Yep. I'm just gonna sit on you, bro. You're gonna burn. The first time it enters a creature space on a turn, that creature takes 5 or 1d10 fire damage. With a touch, the Phoenix can also ignite flammable objects that are not worn or carried with no action required.
Nice.
Here's a flyby. The Phoenix doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flees out of an enemy's reach. Illumination. The Phoenix sheds bright light in a 60-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet.
Word of advice, do not fight this thing in a forest.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't fight it in like a wool factory.
Or in a city either. Just, because it will just touch everything and then everything will be on fire and you will take so much damage.
Don't let it ignite your boat.
You got to fight this thing on like plains of sand.
Go fight it in the elemental plane of air. Somehow transport it there.
Somehow I feel like that would make it stronger.
But there's nothing to burn. You just fight it while you're in free fall.
That's true.
I don't know. There's not a lot of good options.
No, there isn't. On the well, then it'll burn your boat.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, don't let it burn your boat.
Deserted island.
Fight it in the middle of fucking nowhere, like Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly.
Tell it to shut up and stop so
we
you can
need
go fight in a place.
Exactly right.
Hang on. Can we dimension door over those islands real quick?
Yeah.
You can't. It's not far. Hundreds of feet is not enough. Anyway, wait, there's teleport spells.
Yeah.
Legendary resistance. If a Phoenix fails a saving throw, it can choose to succeed 3 times in a day. Siege monster. The Phoenix deals double damage to objects and structures. Force of nature. It's going to burn all that stuff. The multi-attack. The Phoenix makes 2 attacks, one with its beak and one with its fiery talons. Why isn't it also fiery beak? Because this is a melee weapon attack. Plus 13 to hit. That's much, much lower than the others.
It is.
Reach 15 feet. 1 target. The hit is 15 or 2d6 plus 8 fire damage. See, it's fire damage. If the target is a creature or a flammable object, it ignites. Until a creature takes an action to douse the fire, the target takes 5 or 1d10 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. Fiery talons, melee weapon attack, plus 13 to hit, 15-foot reach, 1 target. The hit is 17 or 2d8 plus 8 fire damage. And then, of course, the legendary actions. The Phoenix can take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. Peck. Ooh, like a Pokemon attack. The Phoenix makes 1 beak attack. Fucking giant flaming Spearow. Move. The Phoenix.
I mean, this is essentially a Moltres. So we've got Rayquaza, we've got Moltres. Gyarados for the Leviathan?
I guess.
Yeah. Torterra for the next one, but we'll get to
I
that
can
later.
see the chonky legs.
Yeah.
Big chungus. Swoop. Oh, sorry, move. The Phoenix can move up to its speed just like all the other ones. That's fucking crazy. So swoop costs 2 actions. The Phoenix moves up to its speed and attacks with its fiery talons. This is like a much more scaled back version of last episode. Like it just kind of takes what these creatures kind of all can do, like the kind of variety of stuff they put out, scale it back.
I think another thing of note too is fire resistance is one of the easiest to come by in the game. So that kind of brings the Phoenix down a little bit even further.
Yeah, so we're more like in the poison realm where early levels fire is very good.
Right.
Burning down, this can do a lot of damage that is going to be hard to like mitigate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it can put out a lot of different fire. This is feels more force of nature-y than the combat aspect.
Okay.
As the other two to me. Like they're more like battle written, like the stat block is more written for battle. This one just kind of feels more like it's meant to just fly over a place and fuck it up and leave.
Yeah.
And turn into a fucking impenetrable egg.
Yeah, this one causes other problems. Like, you'll kill it, but it will destroy everything around you before you do. And you'll have to deal with the fact that it's going to come back in 6 days. What do you do with this egg?
Right, because this thing could just explode, and now you have a fucking side quest.
You better have a wizard who can open a portal to the elemental plane of fire, and you just chuck that egg through.
And then it'll wake up as a new bird, a fiery bird.
But
and
it'll be home again.
And it'll eat all its brethren and get big there. And no one gives a shit.
Exactly.
You can't burn anything in a place that's already burning.
Yeah. Is that the whole stat block?
That was it, bro.
All right, let's get ready for a short rest.
Ooh, I love those. Hey everybody, be sure to check out
Super Quest Saga,
a future fantasy 5th edition D&D actual play podcast homebrewed and dungeon mastered by yours truly, me, and set in space.
And I play in it, along with your special guest Jake and friend of the show, Josh Freeland.
You can find it on YouTube, iTunes, or anywhere else you can get your podcasts.
Super Quest Saga!
All right, Brian, we've returned.
We've returned.
And we're down to our last Elder Elemental, the final.
It's because all the other ones burned.
It's true. But we will be covering the Zaratan, which, same as the Phoenix, existed in a previous edition in both folklore and literature outside of D&D.
Got a little bit of lore. Last one.
Now in 5e has been retrofitted into this role as an Elder Elemental. And also, like the Phoenix, there are essentially two distinct versions. One that is more biological in nature, and one that is an elemental force given sentience.
Okay.
So the original Zaratan is an absolute unit of a gargantuan sea turtle that passively floats about the seas. Its shell, which emerges from the surface of the ocean, is so large that it is often mistaken for an island. This mistake is understandable due to the immense amounts of sediment and vegetation that amass on the Zaratan shell over the centuries, making the beast's carapace truly look like a desert island.
Cool.
The shell of a Zaratan looks like a sloped rocky mound several hundred feet in diameter. The Zaratan's head, over 50 feet across, is often mistaken for a partially submerged, barnacle-encrusted boulder. The Zaratan usually keeps its eyes shut, covered with stony lids that blend in with the rest of its head in texture and color.
It wants you to think it's a rock.
No, it's just sleeping. The Zaratan's 4 flippers, each over 100 feet long, appear to be small reefs supporting a variety of corals, barnacles, and small fish. A Zaratan is essentially a giant ecosystem unto itself. This thing's fucking huge.
Yeah. I see this all over the place. Dark Tower, big turtle.
It's a very common thing.
Naruto, big turtle.
Yeah.
Airbender, big turtle. What else we got? Any more? Aladdin 3.
Yeah. I was about to say that.
Deep pool right now. Yes. Yeah. That one had a fucking temple in it, though.
Dude, The Prince of Thieves was like,
that's a good movie. Yes.
Okay. Anyways, slow metabolism of the Zaratan assure that they have incredibly long lives, even if they're uneventful, measured in millennia, in fact. At any given time, a Zaratan is 99% likely to be sleeping. As it slumbers, it keeps its mouth wide open. Any small to man-sized creature stupid enough to swim inside are reflexively swallowed.
Just like me.
Sure. The Zaratan spends the rest of its time either mating or conversing with others of its kind. Every few centuries, by sheer coincidence, a pair of Zaratani will drift into each other. Should they awaken and be of opposite sex, they will likely mate.
99% sleep, 0.5% talking to bitches.
Oh, God.
0.5%, you know.
Should they awake? Oh, I already said that. The courtship ritual may take decades, and the mating itself lasts as long as a year.
What?
They live forever, bro.
It takes a long time to move to the back of the...
I think it takes a long time for them to get the fuck to know each other, bro.
Oh.
Okay, get some manners. Fuck.
Damn, my bad.
The Zaratani communicate with one another in a language similar to that of whales. Conversations between the Zaratani often last decades. So
Holy
even
shit.
the conversations last decades. On rare occasions, they have been known to communicate with other beings via telepathy.
We're still in the previous editions, right?
Oh, yeah. This is nothing like the 5e monstrosity we're going to talk about later.
You don't want to be an adventurer being like, oh, shit, what's that noise? Oh, fuck, my ears. It sounds like there's 2 of them.
The older a Zaratan gets, the longer it sleeps. As a result, many actually become indistinguishable from floating islands or reefs supporting their own mini ecosystems on their broad, rocky carapaces and underbellies. Many sport palm trees and vegetation on their shells. The older and wiser Zaratani are perfectly contented to be attended to by lesser symbiotic beings.
Okay.
Provided the symbiotes are not too bothersome and don't interfere with the Zaratan's sleep. A few are known to support small villages, while others have been used as mobile bases for pirates and corsairs.
Okay.
Visitors will find most inhabitants of Zaratan highly superstitious. Many revere their island home as a god. They believe that were their deity to awaken due to hunger, the island might sink beneath the sea, destroying their village. And they are likely correct.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. As a result, these villagers strive at every opportunity to keep the Zaratan well fed and content, sacrificing large quantities of caught fish and even visitors to placate their floating deity.
I was wondering, like, with these big turtles in the ocean like that, it's a turbulent place out there in the ocean. You not flip. It's just so massive. I guess it's not flipping
so
over.
Big.
Or like,
yeah, it's so big, dude. Like each fin is 100 feet long.
I know. It probably is wise enough to know that storm is coming. So it just like doesn't.
It just sleeps through the storm, dude.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you're just living out on the ocean.
Yeah.
Just like hoping it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So the 5e version of the Zaratan is much different. It is not related to the sea in any way, and it is instead a massive primal entity of pure earth and stone. When a Zaratan is summoned from the elemental plane of earth, the ground rises up to take the shape of what looks like a hulking armored reptile, its shell composed of landscape from which it arose. The Zaratan plods across the land, each step sending shockwaves through the ground severe enough to unsettle structures.
Ooh.
Dim-witted, the Zaratan lurches onward, expressing its rage through its trumpeting calls and the occasional boulder or blast of debris it spews from its cavernous maw. If seriously injured, the Zaratan slowly retracts its appendages to gain shelter beneath its impervious shell, biding its time until it recovers and can resume its march.
Damn.
So one thing I've noticed about the elder elementals is that they all seem to be very, very angry.
Yeah, they're destructive forces.
Yeah, I understand that they are basically weather monsters, and weather can be among one of the most destructive forces known to us, but the books don't bother to give explanation to their anger despite all the wrathful descriptions of their actions. Fire, I get. Most fire, like, burns. Because of fire.
It's naturally
Like,
destructive.
It is a naturally destructive element. But the other three are not in a constant state of destruction and entropy, so why are the Leviathan, Elder Tempest, and Zaratan inherently weather kaiju of destruction?
Yeah, they're not. It doesn't make any sense. Like, except for like when you mentioned last episode that like a wizard is usually end game summoning these.
Yeah, and then they're
for
mad.
their destructive purposes.
Sure, but like, is that their natural state?
I know it doesn't seem like it should be like that.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong, weather kaiju of destruction are awesome, but a better explanation would be even more awesome. But whatever. Here's a stat block.
Yeah, here's a stat block though.
Zaratan stat block.
The good thing is that we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
And you do what you want.
Yeah, you can open up that seam and get in there and rearrange all the stuff. And so we got the Zaratan. It's gargantuan elemental with neutral alignment with the armor class of 21. Is that the highest of the four?
Yes.
It is.
Without
That's
a
a
doubt.
big earth turtle, so that makes sense. Big chungus. Hit points 307. That does not top the Leviathan though.
No.
That's interesting. The land speed is 40 feet, which is pretty good. Swim speed 40 feet, which is cool.
Oh, it can swim.
I feel it like
I feel like it should not be able to swim.
well, it's kind of calling back to that sea turtle vibe from the previous edition, I
But
guess.
it's made of stone and earth, it should sink.
It doesn't swim. Well, yeah.
Whatever.
Maybe it's made of stone and earth, and then it's just a big air pocket in the middle.
Maybe.
It's got expandable lungs. Strength 30, fitting. Dex 10, Con 30, Intelligence 2, Wisdom 21, Charisma 18. Saving throw, Wisdom plus 12, Charisma plus 11. So those are just a little different.
Okay.
Damage vulnerabilities, Thunder.
Oh, it's a ground type.
It's vulnerable to thunder.
Oh, it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
I thought you said resistant. Oh.
No. This is the only one with the vulnerability.
Oh,
I guess
because it's like stone, so like the
shaky,
vibration will crack
like
the stone.
shatter spell and stuff. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Damage resistance, cold, fire, lightning, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical
more
attacks.
resistance
Let's get a
as
couple
well. Yeah, there we go.
others. Damage immunities,
Oh, poison?
condition immunities, exhaustion, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, and stunned. Senses, dark vision 60 feet, and tremor sense 60 feet, which is cool. That
is pretty neat.
And the passive perception is 15. Languages, none or dashes. That was a joke. Challenge 22 challenge rating.
So one under the Elder Tempest.
Earth-shaking movement. As a bonus action, after moving at least 10 feet on the ground, the Zaratan can use a shock wave through the ground in a 120-foot radius circle centered on itself. That area becomes difficult terrain for 1 minute. Very cool. Each creature on the ground that is concentrating must succeed on a DC 25 con saving throw, or the creature's concentration is broken.
I think that's the highest DC I've ever read or seen.
That's pretty fucking
24
up there.
was up there, but I
24.
feel like I've seen 24 before. 25? Holy shit.
This turtle walks on the land, is like, are you doing spells? Fuck that. Boom. No, none of that for you. The shockwave deals 100 thunder damage to all structures in contact with the ground in the area. Devastating. What do you con most buildings at for damage? What would 100 thunder damage do to most buildings?
Depends on the building.
I think it would almost obliterate almost every building, I think.
100 damage?
100 damage would, well, not big buildings, like stone buildings or like your town hall probably survive, but your common house.
Your house? Yeah.
It's gonna severely damage your house.
Severely damage, if not outright destroy.
Yeah, I don't know what do we put? We haven't really ever talked about
I
how much
usually give
HP a building has.
A big galleon ship, like between 100 and 200 HP is what I usually do.
Okay, so that's a bow. A bow is built at least as good as a house, right?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an architect.
Come at us, architects.
I'm a dungeon master.
Science community architects and people that know.
Anyone educated, come
Anybody
at us.
that knows about house HP, hit us up. Okay, so where was I? I know your pain right now, Will. Okay, I'm just gonna start over. That shockwave deals 100 fucking damage to your buildings. If a creature is near the structure that collapses, the creature might be buried. I don't know. Maybe. A creature within half the distance of the structure's height must make a DC 25 dexterity saving throw. That's big saves. On a failed save, the creature takes 17 or 5d6 bludgeoning damage, is knocked prone, and is trapped in the rubble. A trapped creature is restrained, requiring a successful DC 20 strength athletics check as an action to escape. Another creature within 5 feet of the buried creature can use its action to clear rubble and grant advantage on the check. If 3 creatures use their action in this way, the check is an automatic success.
Cool.
So if the rest of your party comes to bail you out, they do.
Yeah.
On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and doesn't fall prone and become trapped. Legendary resistance, 3 a day. If it fails a saving throw, it can choose to succeed. Magic weapons. Zaratan's weapon attacks are magical. I guess that makes sense to specify that as opposed to the others.
Right.
Siege monster, double damage to objects and structures. I don't think that includes the 100 thunder damage. It's like specifying 100.
So specific, yeah.
It's not going to just be like, they would have wrote 200
specific
if they meant
always
it.
trumps general when it comes to like
The rules, erratas and stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. Multi-attack. The Zaratan makes 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its stomp. Bite is 17 to hit. That's more like it. Reach 20 feet. 1 target. The hit is 28 or 4d8 plus 10 piercing damage for the bite. That's the beaky. I'm picturing a beaky tortoise
a turtle.
mouth.
Yeah.
Stomp is melee weapon attack plus 17 to hit, reach 20 feet, 1 target. Hit is 26 or 3d10 plus 10 bludgeoning damage. And then we have Spit Rock. It's a vomit attack, ranged weapon attack plus 17 to hit. Range is 120 feet to 240 feet.
Nice.
1 target. The hit is 31 or 68 plus 10 bludgeoning damage. Whoo, mama. Spew debris. And this is a recharge 5 or 6.
Okay. So he's
This
doing
is
this more
powerful.
often. Yeah.
This is the second most powerful.
It is literally the second most powerful.
The Zaratan exhales rocky debris in a 90-foot cube. Each creature in the area must make a DC 25 dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 33 or 10 bludgeoning damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. A creature that fails a save by 5 or more is knocked prone. And then legendary actions, it can take 3, choosing from the options below. Stomp, the Zaratan makes 1 stomp attack. Move, the Zaratan makes movement up to its speed. Spit, which costs 2 actions, it uses its spit rock attack, so it can just do all of its attacks on your turns, or after your turns, I guess. Retract, which costs 2 actions. This is going to be like withdraw for Blastoise. The Zaratan retracts into its shell until it takes an emerge action, which is down the list a little bit. It has resistance to all damage and is restrained. It restrains itself.
Yep.
The next time it takes a legendary action, it must take its revitalize or emerge action. And those are the next 2 things I'm going to read. Revitalize first, it costs 2 actions. So it has to wait a turn to do that. The Zaratan can use this option only if it is retracted in its shell. It regains 52 hit points or 5d20 hit points. Let me just roll 5d20.
That's
and
fun.
Heal.
That's a lot of fun. So what is that, a maximum of 100?
Oh my God. The next time it takes a legendary action, it must take its emerge action. So retract, be resistant, heal up, and then next turn emerge. The Zaratan emerges from its shell and uses Spit Rock. It can use this option only if it is retracted in its shell. So when it emerges, it gets to just do an attack that does a fuck ton of damage.
Yep.
This creature is the coolest one.
I could tell you like it the most.
Yeah.
It is very fun.
It's fucking more, some reason it's more terrifying than the other ones.
Yeah. Well, it's got more moving parts, which is fun.
Yeah. There's more options here, and I like the heal ability. That's pretty cool.
Which is fairly repeatable, but like, I'm not sure how useful it is. Resistance is nice, but if it's fighting level 18 characters, like, I don't know if 52 HP heal is enough considering the resources it has to burn to get through that.
I mean, it's also doing the, it has resistance to all damage.
Yeah,
so I
know.
think that trumps over its vulnerability. So maybe if it's getting wrecked by...
Yeah, like I said, the resistance is nice, but like when you're dealing with 4 or 5 level 18 characters, even cutting all their damage in half for a full round, maybe even more, it's probably going to be more than 52 HP.
Yeah, you're going to need to plan this fight if you want to optimize it, I think, where you're going to have buildings around, weaken the buildings, destroy the buildings, trap some people, use the heal, get back out, shoot them with a fucking rock.
Right, exactly. Any comments, questions, or concerns about the Zaratan?
I mean,
it's really cool.
It is really cool.
I like all 4 of these creatures. So the Elder Elementals are fucking dope.
I like it coming out of the ocean. So
fuck
wreck your shop.
Yeah. I could see basically all these with the Phoenix coming out of the fucking ocean.
Yeah. They can.
Yeah.
Well, the Leviathan has to fly in from over the ocean.
You mean the Elder Tempest?
Oh, yes. I meant the Tempest.
But storms come in from the sea all the time, so it's fitting.
Yes, it is. But no, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. With that being said, let's get ready for a long rest.
Yeah. I'm staring at Grumsh right now. What the Grumsh? Okay. Long rest time. Will, I'm wearing an Earth Slippy and this fucking hot ass Fire Slippy. And I tried to put the Fire Slippy out, but it turned into a fucking egg and burned my house down.
I'm sorry, man. That's rough.
I just got a hot foot now.
I'm very sorry.
It's okay. It's going to be hard to sleep, but we'll get through it. I don't even know what we're talking about.
I was about to ask, what are we talking about this long rest?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Super Quest Saga's back, so there's that.
It's been back,
Yeah.
and it's doing good.
I hope
probably.
So. I hope.
We haven't dropped it yet. We record in the future.
Yes, we do.
Or no, we record in the past.
In the far past.
With intentions of the future.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, I don't know.
Contest is over.
Tell people about the show.
Yeah,
like how our
do.
contest asks you to do. That's the whole point. If you want to help us out, please tell people about the Dungeoncast or Super Quest Saga. We do both of those.
Yeah. We have that panel coming up.
Oh yeah, Sci-Fi Con. We're gonna be on Sci-Fi Con. It's gonna be an online thing now. Still cool. We're gonna run a monster panel. We don't have all the details just yet, or we do, but I don't have them in front of me. It's not that important yet. Check us out next episode. I'll have all that prepared to tell everybody about. We'll probably be dropping that in like a short rest. If you want to, we're like almost full up on ad space right now, but we do have a couple spots open. If you're interested in them, please email us at thedungeoncast@gmail.com. We're pretty much doing short rest ads these days, with the exception of like a couple, like it depends. You can negotiate with us for the front of the episode now, but we're going to try to like lighten up the ad stuff and the fluff from all the episodes. So, I think that's
call
it.
it a game.
This is really general. Find us on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, but yeah, let's call it a game.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Dungeoncast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from expert elves to epic eclipses. And today we're talking about epic. What are we?
Elder Elementals.
Elder Elementals again.
Indeed.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons. Fuck. Okay. This is going in the highlight reel.
Oh, man.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Will.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons. I read the old one. Fuck. I'm going to get it right this time.
Yeah.